Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin, and I am Kevin, and this is my coffee. Mm-mm. Mm. Is this good? If some of you remember the show from when we first started, gosh, it's almost 5 years ago. 5 years ago now. And I actually have some pictures and some icons or whatever of me in the coffee cup. And this coffee cup back then was brand new and it was very clear and vivid and everything else. So it's been a while. Mm. Yes, we started this. I started this before COVID. It was in December, I believe, of 2019. I can't tell you how many episodes we've had. I know that over the years, I think I've missed two or three for whatever reasons we could not do them. So not bad. We've been running this for quite a while. And I just love sharing. I just love sharing what I have. I'm Kevin Martin. I am a mindset coach. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm a bunch of other stuff too. And over my years, I've gathered information that was helpful to me, and I try to make it helpful to you and my clients as well. Interesting. I've been going on for 5 years almost, and we have, sometimes from what I could see in the chat that I see, sometimes we have no one on. Sometimes we have two or three people on, but the chat that I see is just Facebook. We're broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and one other that I can never remember the name of it. Um, and constantly people are coming up to me and saying, "Hey, I smell coffee." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Coffee with Kevin." These are people I don't know. So whether it's the live broadcast right now, or it's the fact that this stays on the feed for a while and everybody else sees it. A lot of people see it on LinkedIn, and I do not have the ability in this tool to actually see the chats on LinkedIn, at least not that I know of. It looks like it's it looks like it's supposed to show me the chats on LinkedIn. Anyway, it's great to see you. And now it looks like I'm seeing all the chats except my Facebook profile and LinkedIn. That doesn't make sense because it's not letting me do my Facebook. So, hey, I just want to say if you're out there on Facebook and you're chatting me right now, I may not be able to see it. So I apologize for that. Okay. All right. I'm going to just adjust this now. Okay. Fantastic. August 27th. Believe that we're more than half the year in. I just remember starting this year just 6 or 7 months ago. It is flying by. The way we look at time, is interesting because we can look at it and it can fly by, or we can look at it and it can go slow. You ever have those days where it's like you're looking at your watch, it's like, it's only this, it's only that. And that's because we're doing something, or we're completely bored, or we're doing something we really don't like. And then you have these days, you look at it and say, oh my God, it's already past dinner time. Oh my God. That's because you're doing something you really do like. You're in the zone and time flies by. Now, Time can fly by sometimes when you're just not, not paying attention to too much, and it's just all of a sudden you look at the clock. Time can go slow when you can be enjoying yourself. I've experimented with this and I said, okay, I really, really, I know what I'm going to be experiencing. I want to experience it in the moment. And when you go to bring yourself in the moment and bring your awareness in the moment, you can actually experience so much in such a short a time. Time is, I know we say we all have the same 24 hours, and it's really virtually not true because all of us identify time just a little different. All of us can use time just a little differently. Now, granted, I can't do 3 days of work in 1 hour. There may be some other people that can do 3 days of my work in 1 hour. I don't know. We all experience time just a little differently. Yes, we do. And speaking of time, I'm going to go back to this is August 24th. So what happened on this day? In 1883, Krakatoa explodes in a massive force. Now, this was a massive, massive volcano on an uninhabited island. And it was heard for 3,000 miles. 3,000 miles. Now, I just traveled from Florida to Massachusetts, and it was 1,500 miles. I can't imagine hearing something in Florida. I mean, hearing something in Florida that happened in Massachusetts. I can't imagine that. And that's only half the distance. And it threw 5 cubic miles of earth over 50-mile radius. It was raining earth for 50 miles away. That is enormous. That is wild. And thank God we haven't experienced it, anything like that in our time. Nothing that wild, but it is the biggest recorded volcano eruption. What else happened on this day? Well, on this day, let's see. NFL Michael Vick pleads guilty in dogfighting case. I remember that. That was in 2007. And he was a star. I think he was a quarterback. And yet he was dealing in dogfighting for gambling and stuff like that. Wasn't very good, not humane at all. Let's see what else is okay. 1776. We all know that year. The British defeated us at the Battle of Brooklyn, defeated actually George Washington's troops. Let's see. One other thing I really, really liked. It was in 1939. It was the first flight of a He 178. And that was a turbojet airplane. So it was the first jet flight in 1939. Oh my goodness. That was incredible. Now we still, for the most part, in World War II had airplanes, propeller airplanes, but we had started developing jets, and that's why during the Korean War and the Vietnam War we had all jets out there. Nice. What else? Lyndon B. Johnson was born in 1908, a little bit before my time. And I think that's it for today. I don't have a list of birthdays for some reason today. I'm sure there were a lot of other birthdays besides Lyndon B. Johnson. But August 27th, here we are. We're rapidly moving to 2025. And what does 2025 do for you? By the way, the song, for those of you old enough to remember that song about the future. It was 2525 in the year 2525, not 2025. So we got a ways to go before that the words to that song come true or become false. I don't know. Anyway, today we're going to look at some quotes as we do every week. And we get to start off with one of my favorite quotes. I just used this the other day and I said, this is one of my absolute favorite quotes. And it's one of the quotes by one of my absolute favorite mentors and motivation and sales speaker, Zig Ziglar. And Zig says, you can get everything in life that you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. You can get everything in life that you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. I love this quote because Zig's saying, okay, if you really want something, you're not going to be able to get it easily. You might not be able to get it at all unless along the way you are helping other people. And it doesn't matter in which way you help other people. I help other people in several ways. And when I came down here to Florida, I joined a networking group. It's called Networking Professionals Inc., I believe. NPI. And it's Suncoast NPI, run by a gentleman called John Marshall. Wonderful, wonderful guy. And what we have is part, if not as important as the referrals, is the volunteer time. Because this association, and I think a lot of people down here as well, at least a part of Florida I'm in, really, really look at, helping. They look at stepping in and volunteering for many, many different things. So we look at helping others. And for me, I love that. That's what attracted me to MPI in the first place when I saw that. For me, every week I dedicate time, at least a couple of hours, to facilitate something called the Ethics Roundtable every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. And I believe that, discussing and talking and spreading the word about ethics, not just ethics in business, because when we think about ethics, we think about ethics in business a lot of the times, because there's business ethics and there's committees in politics on ethics. Well, I don't know why it doesn't spread a lot more and why it's not paid attention to a lot more, because as we know in politics, when we hear the news about politicians, it's usually something unethical. But I love doing this because I have a group of professionals, of very wonderful people who can discuss varied opinions in a very professional way and who are open to listening to others. Anyway, I do this for the World Ethics Organization, and an organization I believe in a lot. I was volunteering and still do work for a group that helps startups, and I do various things. A couple of weeks ago, I got to do something I really, really felt good about. It was an organization that works with foster kids that age out. And when you're in the foster care, whether you've got a foster family or you're in a group home, you usually age out and you don't have anywhere to go. You don't have anyone to depend on. So this organization helps them. So I went and did a presentation and a little entertainment and stuff for them with some hypnosis. And we just had a ball and I just loved it. I love talking to groups. I've given my time talking to groups as long as I can share something like I share here. Share something that will help others. And that's what I do here. And it's not because I believe, and I do believe, if I help enough other people, I can get what I want. I believe that can happen. I believe that does happen, but I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because I genuinely want to help others. And you should too. Find something you can help out on. I got another quote I liked, and this is interesting. Service to others is the rent that we pay for our room here on earth. You know who said this? Muhammad Ali. I loved it. He was very service oriented, very charity oriented. He sounds like, when he was fighting in his persona, very egotistical, very all about him. But as a, you know, personal wise, he believed to help as many people as possible. So service to others is the rent we pay for our room here on earth. I've often heard the reason we were born, the reason we're here is to help others. Wouldn't it be nice if all of us realized that and we helped each other? And we helped each other. You ever hear the story? And I love this story. And someone dies and finds himself in this great banquet room. And in the banquet room on the table, there was the best and most amazing foods and plenty of it. And there were these people sitting around the table and they were miserable. They all had these long forks and knives coming out of their hands. But the thing is, the fork and the knife were much too long for them to feed themselves. And they're so miserable because they had all that beautiful food in front of them. And at first, when he walked in the room, he saw that banquet. He said, wow, this must be heaven. And then he looked, and everybody is miserable because they can't feed themselves. And then he walked into another room, and it was the same thing, but everybody was happy. The food was incredible. Everybody had these long forks and knives coming out of their hands where they couldn't feed themselves, but they fed each other. They fed each other, so they were blissfully happy. They were helping each other. That was heaven. That was heaven. I love that story. It's a great metaphor for us here on earth. All right. Yeah, we can help ourselves. Yeah, we can focus on ourselves, but that doesn't give us happiness. That doesn't make us happy. Sometimes it makes us miserable. Often it makes us miserable if that's the only thing we're focusing on. If we don't focus on the other people around us, we don't focus on the communities, often it makes us miserable, even though you think, helping yourself and being able to do so would be the happiest thing. It's not all about material goods. No, there's a spiritual part. And I say spiritual in the meaning of our soul, our mind, where we're actually helping others and it makes us feel good. Now, you don't specifically go to help others to make yourself feel good, but that's just what happens. And over time, you find others stepping in to help you when you need it too. It's just a wonderful way to live. You're paying the rent for your room here on earth. I really love that quote. So that's what today's coffee with Kevin was all about. It's being in service of others. Being in service of others along your journey. All right, we're not here to take a journey on our own. We have other people around us, other people in the world that are taking this journey with us. And if you help someone instead of push someone away because you want to be the one to get to the end, you find if you're helping others, it's going to help you. All right. This has been Coffee with Kevin. I'm sorry, we got a little deep. We started off a little explosive talking about the Krakatoa volcano, and we got a little deep. And a little deep into the subject that's very important. Consider what you can do in your life if you're not already doing it. Most people are. Volunteer to help out where you can. Help others, and you'll find that helping others and making a difference will make a difference in your life. This has been Coffee with Kevin. I'm Kevin Martin, a mindset coach. If you want to know more about this or anything else, reach out to me on LinkedIn or Facebook. My website is www.poseffects.com. That's POSEFFECTS, short for positive effects. Because that's what I like to bring. That's another part of my mission, is to bring positive effects into everyone's life. I hope this has done that for you today. All right. You have yourself a great day. Have yourself a fantastic week. Matter of fact, you know that it's in your purview. It's your choice to make it a great day, to make it a fantastic week. And I'll see you next week. Bye.